Hey everyone, Krista Moser here. Today I thought I'd show you a new pattern of mine. This is called Ladybug Bloom. It's very similar to Bumblebee Blossoms actually. I'm going to show you a ladybug block that would work in place of the bumblebee block from that pattern. And I'm going to show you a new way to do the flower block. With Bumblebee Blossoms you end up with flowers that kind of shade light to dark or dark to light. In this pattern we're doing each one of those flowers using the hexagon cuts from the mini ruler. The 60-degree diamond mini ruler from Creative Grids that I've designed. I'm going to show you another way to use it. We're going to start with the flower blocks. So here I have my white flower strips. I decided I wanted daisies to be all white. So I have a strip here, and I'm just going to center this ruler. Has hexagons in sizes 1.5 up to 4.5. So I'm cutting 4.5-inch hexagons, and they're white dashed lines. So that's what I'm going to follow. Here we are, centered. My white dashed lines for a 4.5-inch hexagon. And I'm going to just trim. Now I could cut all 4 sides around the ruler, but I don't want to cut back towards myself. So I'm just going to use my mat and turn it around. And there we go. There's a set of hexagons. I'll cut another one. If you have one of those spinning mats, this would be a good time to use it. There we go. And just do this across the strip to get my hexagons. I need one more set. Okay. There it is. Okay, we'll set that aside. This is the main part of the flower. I need some background. So here I have my little blue strip. This, I'm going to do triangles. So from this one, I am just lining it up. The 2.5-inch triangle line, the flat tip across the other end. I'll trim here and here. And then I'm just going to turn the ruler to get myself a couple more. Keep working my way across the strip. I need a few of those. And that'll be enough of those. Now I did that very same cut with some yellow, my little cute yellow gingham plaid. So I've got some of those already cut. Now here is the magic. We're going to do just a hexagon block. We need a little yellow tip. We need some blue triangles for the background. And this flat tip here, I'm going to show you how to use that as your match-up point. So you're going to sew a unit like this together. So when you go to sew this, put that down like that, and you'll use that little flat tip for your 1/4 inch. You'll have a dog ear on this side, the flat tip there. You sew your 1/4 inch and you press it out. I've actually done that with several of these. We need 6 units like this for each flower. And I have some of those. And what you will notice, there's 3 in each of these stacks. In this stack, I pressed all my seams in towards the hexagon. So they're all going in towards the white. In this stack, I pressed them all out towards their triangles. Because when I go to lay this whole thing out, I am going to lay it out alternating those. Just like this. So you have 3 and 3. Because I alternate those, the pressing, these are all going to nest when I sew this together. So I'm going to pick up this piece, and my seams are crisscrossing. They nest perfectly right in, so I get a good match. So you're going to sew 3 together to make a half, the other 3 together to make the other half, pressing each one of these seams open as you go. I've actually done that. Set these aside. Here we have the two sides of the flower block. I'm going to press those seams open, and I got a really good match because of that pressing technique, where you press half of them in and half of them out. All of that is in the pattern. It makes for a darling block, super simple, a little simpler piecing even than the Bumblebee Blossoms pattern. Has a little more complicated piecing, which gives you a cool effect because, you know, if you're using ombre fabric and you go light to dark, but maybe you just want simple little white flowers. So that's the one block in this quilt. Now I'm going to show you the Ladybug block. And then we'll come back to do some assembly stuff. Okay, the ladybugs are basically triangles with a few background pieces. So to do the major part of the ladybug, we've got 4 rows of triangles, 2 little triangles for its black head. We have antenna, and then a background ring. Each of those ladybug blocks ends up as a hexagon that matches the size of the flower block. So they're interchangeable. It's the same with the bumblebee block. So if you want to do a combination, flowers and bumblebees and ladybugs, they'd all work together. So here we have some strips. I am going to stack these up so we can get to the rest of it faster. Whatever you're comfortable stacking, I think I'll go through. 6 layers here. Okay. 2.5 inch line and the flat tip. And I am going to do this. Get a couple more cuts. Oops. Okay. That ought to do it. Maybe just one more. Okay. Set these aside for a second. Now we need some background ones. Now I'm going to show you here the antenna pieces. I've already sewn these and cut them. The dimensions for this stuff is all in the pattern. This little black strip, I want to center it right down the ruler. Now the ruler has 2 dashed lines. I call them the spine lines. They go right up the middle here. So I'm going to center that black strip with my 2.5 inch line across the bottom. I just need to take that off. There's one. We'll do that again. There is 2. Okay, we'll set those aside. Done some blue. That goes in the background, just like what I did before for the flower block. Now, we need some trapezoids and diamonds. To get my trapezoids, I'm going to lay the ruler down with the 4.5 inch line across the bottom of the strip, and then the white dash line across the top. Go like this in here. I'm going to use this to take these little edges off. Turn the ruler. We need one more of those and then we'll be into diamonds. There's two in each of these stacks here, so total of 6. Okay, turn that over. Now diamonds, I'm just going to turn the ruler the long way. I'm doing my 2.5 inch diamond line right here. Just like that. Okay, now we get to lay it out. Earlier I cut a couple of the black head pieces. So there we go. Now, here we're going to do this. Creates the top, the little antenna, background pieces. In here. Then we're just going to lay out some of these And I just kind of laid them out at random because I wanted them to. Each row going down like this has 5. Let's see if I can scoot all this. Give myself a little more room. And a couple more. Okay, so you can see how the rows work. We need 2 little blue sky to fill in the bottom. Just like that. We are going to put these guys. It's amazing how much this thing shrinks up once you sew all the seams. So all this exploded view gives you an idea of the assembly. All these pieces do fit together. There we go. Just like that. Okay, so how this thing goes. What you're going to do is you're going to sew those 2 together as units. Your background gets sewn together as a unit to make rows, like this. The bottom 2, background, rows. And then the center, so our ladybug, it's 4 rows of triangles. Just like this. So you're going to sew these ones together, these ones together, and so on. Once you have these 2 together, you can sew them to each other. Same thing here, here and here, and then sew them to each other. And then this will come down and be sewn on the top, and then these ones on the bottom. And then you can sew the 2 sides on, just like that. Comes out to be a whole hexagon block. I actually did this as a pillow, just 1 block, with a white background. So it's a hexagon. I added some more filler to make it a square for my 16-inch pillow, but just 1 block, really cute. Cute little addition to a room if you're going to do a quilt like this. Okay, so what I thought I would show you is how this whole thing goes together, because these hexagon blocks go together in rows. There's no Y seams. It's really simple actually once you get this part of it done, how it goes together in rows. So I'm going to take this one down. This one I intentionally did not finish the last 2 rows so I could show you this next part of the process. Okay, we'll set that here. Let me grab my blocks. All right. So here I have some finished daisy blocks. I'm just going to lay it up like that. Like this. Side to side. I've got some leaf blocks. I didn't show you those cuts, but they're in the pattern. They're very simple to do. It's just a diamond and 2 triangles. And the nice thing about these, you can turn them any direction. So I could have this leaf going up to kind of make a bow tie, like touching each other. Or I can turn it this way, give it a little more whimsical look. We'll put this one like this. And these go together in units. So you're going to do 1 hexagon with a leaf block and a leaf block. Because remember, there's no Y seams. So once we have these units, this leaf block would go to that flower. I have an end, a half flower. That goes down here with more leaf units. This is how the unit looks. We'll set it up here, just like that. So unit, unit, unit. You'll put some more leaves in. Turn them this way. Okay. And any one of these I could change out for a ladybug. So if I didn't want a flower there, I could just put my ladybug block in this one. Or the bumblebee block, actually, would work too. Here's my other end unit. So you sew the whole thing together in rows, and then the next row, building it on as you go. I actually have this shown here. What we did here is these hexagon flowers. So this version of it is a PDF download. So this pattern is very similar to Bumblebee Blossoms, except for the ladybug blocks, and then of course the assembly of the flowers being just a hexagon. It's a little simpler of a petal. So if you want the PDF download, you will get both the ladybug and the flower blocks, and the layout, the leaf blocks, the setting, the works. That comes this way. If you want just the ladybug, so maybe you already have the Bumblebee Blossoms pattern, which is this pattern here, and it has the bumblebee block in it. Maybe you already have this pattern and you want to do a version of it with the ladybug and you just want the ladybug block. So we've got that as a PDF download on its own as well. You can find them all at KristaMoser.com. Click on the pattern page and it'll take you to both options, just the ladybug or the whole quilt. Two different ways to do it. And I did the version from Bumblebee Blossoms as a baby quilt, actually. So here we have it. The difference is for the Bumblebee Blossoms pattern, because of the way the cuts are done, you get opposite cuts. So you're going to end up with white flowers and yellow flowers instead of all white, like that's the way I showed you in this PDF version. So if you like the look, you can get a similar look with the Bumblebee Blossoms pattern, but you will end up with white and yellow. But you will also be able to exchange it for that ladybug block there as well. So kind of cute. Very similar look to be done with the pattern you might already have. All right. I hope that didn't take too long. Thanks for watching.